pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Need a motion to approve the minutes of February 14th meeting?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Any questions on it?
Motion to approve the minutes of February 20th, the planning meeting we had.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the February 20th meeting.
Second.
We need a motion to approve the March docket and allowance docket.
I'll make a motion that we approve the March docket and the allowance docket.
Second.
Did you have any questions on any of the claims?
All right, let's get rolling. Kent, you need time.
Thank you. The project is out to bid. I will get a set of prints to the town hall Friday morning so that anyone wants to come and look at them, they can. I'll drop off a set to the surveyor as well, same time. We've had a few people have requested plans already, so we're sending them out by typically they send out, they want electronic copies. If they want hard copies, we can open out hard copies, however they want it. We have a pre-bid at the end of the month, one of the, I can't remember, Tuesday or Wednesday, but
Tuesday, March 23rd.
Tuesday, March 23rd, okay. Here in I believe it's in Town Hall. Yeah. For any contractors that want to come and learn about the project, get plans, ask questions. The bids are due a month from today, at the April council meeting. And I think that's all I've got, unless you have any questions for me on anything.
Two-bid meeting?
I think he said, did you say the 23rd?
23rd,
It's the 26th.
26th, excuse me, 26th. The town hall's 26th, sorry about that.
It's okay.
It's corrected in the newspaper.
Yeah.
It's right here.
The
That's
newspaper
why.
got it right, yeah. Sorry.
You need to, because
I figured you would, but I just want to check for
Andy and I get together this year on your road bids, that's all right. The same match, 25/75, if you wanna go out for this year, you wanna give us authorization to go drive around, get some sidewalks and stuff done, just to get prices, nothing formal yet. But,
we need to get together as a council and look and see what we're up against, what streets.
We got 21 left, I think, 21 blocks. We've done 31 this time.
You try to get the last knocked down.
no charge from us, same as last year, so we'll get it written and pave every single street in town.
Be all done in 3 years, it'd be pretty impressive if we can get it done.
That's all I've got, that's your question.
Just get with me when you get together so we know, see if one of us are in town too, see what we're up against, you know.
Will do. I'll get a map put together.
Yeah.
All right.
Like to get it all knocked out, that'd be great.
Are contractors getting these scheduled yet, or is a bit too soon?
I would talk to Kurt, and he said as soon as this plant's up and running, he's gonna pave your roads.
Okay.
It's a matter of getting this plant's up and running, so I don't know what's going on.
Let's get the new plant.
Oh, really?
We've got $300,000 plant.
So
I've seen it.
you've spoken with them, and
Yes,
they
I
know
have.
we're ready?
He says, I said, Camden's got money ready to give you, and he goes, as soon as I get my plan up, they're first on the list, that's what he said.
That'd be a lot better than waiting till
Yeah.
the fall, that's great.
So, it's brand new asphalt from a brand new plant.
Yep.
Great.
What about the sidewalks?
The contractor,
You'll need to coordinate that with the street guy, right?
Yeah, we'll get with him at the same time, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give him a call sometime this week, we'll be on that.
thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, you.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck.
Doug?
Yeah, I'm here tonight to certify zoning amendment to the zoning ordinance for the U1 zoning district. On November 15th of 2017, it was advertised in the comment. At their regular meeting on the 28th of November, the Plan Commission discussed and tabled any action with the request to revise the proposed language to allow poultry and rabbits in the U1 zoning district. One of the biggest concerns with that was the limited space, having a minimum of a half-acre lot size, and that we weren't opening it up for the 4-H'ers and stuff due to public comment. Language was revised and then taken in front of the Plan Commission in January with permission to advertise given. It was again advertised on February 7th. And on February 27th, the Plan Commission discussed, amended, and provided a favorable recommendation to the legislative bodies of the county. The language that was proposed was, the amendment to that was, the application shall be accompanied by signed approval of all adjoining property owners. That portion was stricken from the record, or from the amendment. The poultry and waterfowl is done based on Board of Animal Health recommendations for pen sizing for the coops and any lots that they would have or open runs. They would be covered. There'd be no free ranging of any birds, anything of that nature. On the rabbits, all that language came from recommendations from the American Rabbit Breeders Association. There's quite a bit of variance in size of coops and pens based on the breed or species of the animals, so that's the direction they decided to go. It was presented to the county commissioners at the first meeting, regular meeting this month. They tabled the action until the Plan Commission made a decision on what the fees were going to be, whether it was going to be done as an annual permit or just an outright allowed use, and how it's currently written with a $50 permit fee. The 4-H'ers were pushing for a $5 annual permit rather than an actual permit and have it as an allowed use on the property for eternity. And then last night I certified it to the town of Burlington, and they did approve that last night. So, Plan Commission will make a recommendation or set the permit fees probably at the end of this month, and then Commissioners should take action at the beginning of next month.
Good.
And this is the certification of it to use the town board, so you guys you can take action on it tonight, or you can table it, or delay it, as long as you take action on the amendment within 90 days. If you take no action within 90 days, it automatically goes into effect.
Just for clarification, it's hens only.
Yes, no roosters is in, that
Now,
is very
is
plain.
there a limit on how many?
No. The limit on how many is going to be based on their pen, coop, or lot size, based on either Board of Health or Rabbit Breeders Association guidelines.
And we're talking chickens only, no ducks.
Yeah,
It does include ducks, it does include turkeys and other waterfowl.
no, you don't want a chicken clucking. You don't want a chicken quacking, it'll do, but you can have a duck quacking all day. And
What
you
is
can have a
the
turkey
property?
gobbling.
What is the property line setbacks? How far off the property line they have to be?
5 feet to any pens or anything, which is the same as any other accessory structure.
And you said the neighbors restrictions were removed from the writing.
Now, can we add that in Camden? Can Camden, I mean, who's gonna police it for one thing? I mean,
It all come through the plan commission.
okay, so if JD wants a chicken coop, you'll come and tell JD, you can put a coop here, you can only have so many chickens and.
He'll actually, yeah, he'll either give me the design of the coop or whatever before he puts any birds in that coop. I have to do an inspection to verify the size. He'll actually have to tell me the species, what he's putting in there, whether it's chickens, turkeys, and the species, because, like I say, there's so much size variation, and
Yeah.
then the pen size requirements change. There are provisions in there for keeping, the manure disposal, no outside butchering, no basically sales off the lot of any meat or anything like that in there.
What about manure disposal?
Manure disposal, it just has to be done in an appropriate manner. If it's not completed on a regular basis and odors develop or whatever, somebody files a complaint, I come out and do an investigation and issue a violation notice.
All right.
How long do they got with violation notice?
Depends on what the violation is. I mean, that's gonna vary depending on, one, the severity of it, and like I say, if it's something like a setback where they set their coop too close to the property line, I mean, that's something that probably we should give them plenty of time to do, but we don't wanna set it so long that they're like that for a long time.
Why should we give them plenty of time to do it if they put it in the wrong place to begin with?
Yeah, which that shouldn't happen, because actually before they put birds in that coop,
Yeah.
I'll come out and do an inspection, verify coop size, make sure that it follows the
So if somebody,
permit
say,
application.
my neighbor puts a coop on his lot, and it's too close to me, and you come out and he's got 12 chickens in it, you aren't gonna tell him, that's okay, or are you gonna tell him, get rid of the chickens, you're in violation, or are you gonna say, you got 6 months to fix it? How's
No,
that?
something like that, he's just gonna have a short time period to get it fixed.
Mr. Wagner, what's your phone number?
Uh,
765 what?
564
Mm-hmm.
4468.
4468. I'm probably gonna call you, I have some questions for the town, you know, and I want to have copies of the documentation about what you've been talking
Okay,
tonight. Okay, I'm Ann Briggs, and I'm over Flora, so
okay,
you can, I'll call you, and then you can find me. Does
okay.
Tanya still work for you?
Tanya works for the surveyor's office.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, Shea
I'll
Savoy
call
actually
you.
works
We'll
for
get
me
together.
part-time.
I'll
We've
call
been
you and
trying-
we'll get together on it.
Okay,
Okay. Okay.
any other questions?
I got
No,
one.
I think.
How about peacocks?
Peacock, I don't believe peacocks or other exotic birds are included in this, it's just the waterfowl, standard waterfowl, chickens and turkeys.
Was there any questions last night at Burlington that we haven't asked, or was they concerned with?
The only one they asked about was ducks, because typically ducks are on a pond.
Right.
In that case, you would have to have them, their wings clipped. There's a process they do, which is actually they pull or clip part of the wing feathers, which does not allow them to fly. They would still have to be maintained in some sort of a pen, whether it be around the pond or what.
Is, you say you referred to the ordinance, and what is like the city of West Lafayette? Is it similar to what they're doing, or?
I do not know. I did not look at the city of West Lafayette.
We've looked at a couple different ordinances from small towns to larger towns, and I was just curious if you.
I know when we first started looking at it, we looked at Carmel, and was one of them that we looked at. There was a couple of towns from up in the northern part of the state, and then there was also some information out on the American Planning website that we looked at as well.
All right. It seems to be a trend now for
It
urban.
does seem to be a trend for everybody's wanting fresh eggs and be able to take them to wherever they work at and give them to their friends or sell them to their friends. And
Yeah.
If this goes countywide, are you going to have the manpower to enforce the regulations with it?
that's a good question, because it depends on how
Very good
many.
question.
It depends on how many permits actually come in
Right.
and get it, and
You're
how
gonna
many
be busy.
complaints are received.
You're gonna be a busy man.
I mean, that's one of my concerns, that 4-Hers are asking for a $5 permit fee, and that's one of my concerns right there, is,
Why even have a fee?
Yeah, if you got 50 people
$5,
in
you know. I say put it at 100, and if they're serious about it, then by the time they pay $300 for a chicken coop, $100 for a fee, the feed, the chickens, you're $600 in the hole before you ever get an
That's
egg.
no different than
So
cattle,
that's what
kids
they're
with 4-H
going
and cattle,
for.
I mean, they're spending that much, I mean.
yeah.
And where does this money come from to pay for you to do all this?
Most of my salary actually comes off of permit fees and stuff. Last year we collected
It's a lot of
the area
$5
planning
fees.
commission, area planning, totaling fees and everything, the area planning commission collected, I believe it was around $53,000 last year.
You're gonna need more $5 fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have people already that have rabbits for 4-H in their caged, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think rabbits is the problem, I think chickens is the one everybody's.
we have chickens in town too, 2 locations I know
No, I mean, I haven't heard any, they don't have roosters that I know of, at least I haven't heard them. They're not in mine, the town, if I've heard them.
Yeah, and BZA, I mean, they actually had a couple in West Delphi apply for a variance to raise poultry in the U1 district. It's been about a year and a half ago now. And then BZA denied that request because they weren't taken care of. They already had the birds on site. They could have solved the issue, because where the issue come up is their neighbor was complaining, and they talked to him, get rid of your rooster. They didn't get rid of the rooster, so they actually come in, the applicants actually come into the office and says, what can we do, because we don't want to get rid of the chickens. I said, number one, you should get rid of your rooster, but the only other option is to apply for a variance. They applied for the variance, didn't get rid of the rooster, and the board denied it.
Yeah. Yeah, that roosters, I'm with them there, I'd wanna get rid of it too.
What if it's a rental property and someone comes and wants a permit, do you check that to see if they own the property or if it's a rental property?
It would show up when they turn the property report card in, and I guess we could add language in the,
I think it'd be wise, the landlord would have to sign off on it.
you have landlord approval. I mean, I think that would be a good idea as
Because
well.
the last time we went into this, we had that problem, and the landlord ended up kiboshing the whole deal, because the way they explained it to us was, the permit don't go with the person, it goes with the property. So if
And
you
that's
were renting a
what, I think
place,
that's
they
part of
let-
the reason they were talking about an annual license rather than just outright allowing it.
yeah,
With an annual license, you got a little more control over that.
And I should think it should be non-transferable too, I mean.
Yes. Yeah, that has been brought up, that it wouldn't be transferable.
Well, I appreciate you coming.
yeah, really.
I make a motion that we table it for now and have Ann look over everything, and we can decide maybe next meeting.
Second.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Lois, I appreciate it. Ready? Alright, let's see, we're up to EDC appointee to fill Mark Schock's term. We had,
Has he been contacted?
Bill?
Yes.
Has he
Alright.
accepted?
Yes.
I make a motion to assign Bill Ditton.
That's why I said it's okay.
Okay.
I'll make a second.
Okay, we'll send off letters sent to Bill and to the EDC with them, who's there.
Everett Snowbird zoning, what's
He was
He's supposed to be here.
Well, he took, Doug.
Oh, I didn't know if.
Everett wanted to come and tell us
I didn't know if
about
Everett
it.
was coming too, so, no, okay. Alright, Jerry, you got anything?
Just that there, I know you guys are aware that we've got a problem up here on the highway by the Legion. I've met with the state highway once, and of course, they give you the same song and dance they always do. They're responsible for the lid and the catch basin, but yet the catch basin up there is falling in. And of course, it's sucking dirt around the outside edges. You can't tell whether it's sucking it from the tile or sucking it in into the catch basin. I'm pretty much tired of looking at it. They don't really want to tell you anything other than they'll help you fix it if you want to fix it. I think I'm supposed to have a guy come in probably tomorrow. And I'm gonna get a materials list, I'm gonna go ahead and fix that thing myself and fix it like it should be. Just replace the whole catch basin, if that's all right with you guys.
Their version of helping fix it was providing a flagger.
Yeah, just stand there and look
That
at
was
you.
providing a flagger.
Yeah, I don't need them guys in my
Yeah,
way.
no, when you say help fix it, it's not like they were
Yeah.
gonna fix it, they were gonna
But
provide
yeah,
traffic protection.
Yet the paperwork says that, you're responsible for the tile and anything under the road structure, and they're responsible for the lid and the catch basin, which the catch basin, it's filled up within about that far where the bricks are from that far from the top, they're all just laying inside.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they're not gonna fix it apparently, so if it's all right with you guys, I'll go ahead and just replace that and be done with it.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
I'm good with that. Let's get it fixed. I don't like seeing it either.
It's only gonna get worse.
Why, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's only gonna
Do
get
you
worse.
want a motion for that, or?
I got you.
Okay.
You got anything else?
And that's about it. We will get started on them street signs here someday when it gets a little bit soft. It's thawed out good and we'll I'm gonna try to straighten out the ones the posts that are there before we put any new ones up on top, so.
Okay.
That would be nice, I look forward to seeing the new signs.
I do too. They're gonna look pretty when we get them up.
They will. They'll look nice.
All right. Julie, do you need time for anything?
Oh, I could provide a little bit of info if you have time for me.
We always have time.
Time for
Always
you.
have time for me.
Sure.
Okay. I wanted to present to you our annual report for 2017. This is something new that we've not done before, but I thought it would be interesting for you to see just what we did, some of the things that we did last year, our membership, how it's broken out by location, and some of the different things that we do. And then on the back, it kind of shows you who some of the top level members are, which I just wanted. And Pat's got one. So, and it's funny, we're already this year we're gonna far exceed the number of attendees at events because of what we've been doing already this year. So this was really insightful for us, and we hope it is, for all of our members and future members. So anyway, that's kind of what we were doing. I'm sorry anyone able to attend our State of the City and County and Towns last week, but just to report, Pat did a phenomenal job. She represented Camden quite well, so it was a very good event. So we had about 45 people there. So anyway, that's what's going on, and as you know, I hope that we can count on Camden to be members again. All of our communities have been members. Did I submit that to you already?
You'll get your check in the mail.
Okay.
It's on the docket. Then.
Okay.
So,
This is, I'm just gonna let you guys see this as well. This is the different membership levels, just so you know. We haven't changed a whole lot, but we did put some more information on the back of what we do, just a little bit more, and that kind of tells you what your benefits are. The next big event that we have coming up is the Women's Luncheon, May the 2nd. So as a community connector member, you have certainly a couple tickets if you want to send some ladies to that. It's an event that brings in about 125 people typically, so it's a good event. We have Ann Ryder, who is a award-winning journalist. She's going to be our speaker this year. She was from Channel 13 for many years, if you remember her. Yeah.
I knew I knew that.
So she had interviewed Mother Teresa, was the last live interview, so she'll talk about that. So it'll be a neat event. And we're having a special invitation-only luncheon that Friday with U.S. Aggregates. They wanted to take some of our top-level members out for a tour of the facility, see a blast, and it'll give us a chance to, thank some of our top-level members. So you'll be getting an invitation for that too. So anyway, that's what's been going on. And I've loaded Pat up with, things that we do already. But it's funny when you go, this is one of the books we use. There's 500,000 copies distributed in the state. This year we decided to beef up our advertising of events in the county.
Good.
And so when I start putting the little stickies on there, we did quite a bit. And it's covering, Cutler with Adams Mill and various events. now that I know what to expect from hopefully the future Wilbur Jones tractor pulls, we'll be able to get that in this book next year. The meeting that we had on February 22nd that Mark was able to attend, and Pat, we convened about 25 nonprofit organizations from all over the county. And it was an opportunity for them to kind of learn what everybody does, and this was Lions Club, Rotaries, Friends of the Parks, people like that. What they don't understand is I have to have all the dates for next year's events by this August. I mean, the deadline for this is August 31st. And so the more that the clubs can organize and figure out ahead of time, the more we'll be able to promote and get people here. So that's what we'll be doing. We learned a lot of great information from everybody, and I look to maybe have those meetings twice a year. We'll get everybody back together. I think everybody enjoyed hearing what everybody does, and we'll share events and maybe figure out ways to work together. And Burlington was there, Flora, Camden, Delphi, it was pretty good. So that's what's going on with us. I just wanted to share some updates. Thank you again. Okay.
Thank you much.
It's a lot of tabs.
Yeah, it is a lot of tasks.
Yes, it is.
No, be one.
Here's one, okay. We do have these in the office for people that would like to see them.
It's a lot of tabs. Pete, do you need time for anything?
I'll make one comment if you want me to.
Sure, go ahead.
Everybody's aware there have been some past issues with the Rail Commission and the county EDC, and they terminated the formal working agreement between the two groups last August, I guess. Anyway, I reached out last week to Dick Traeger, who's the new president of the county EDC, and we had a lunch meeting, and he readily agreed, and we had a nice discussion, and we mutually agreed that there's no reason the two groups can't work in cooperation and collaboration we don't really need a written agreement. And so he and I are gonna maintain, an open communication with ourselves to coordinate what the groups are doing, and that's where things stand, so.
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
Okay.
All right, Pat. It's up to you.
Okay, first thing I want to do is something that I came up this afternoon, so I just wrote it in on your things. I was at the Emergency Management Advisory Committee meeting this afternoon, and I spoke with both Paul Redmond at Florida Police and Steve Olin at Delphi Police. They have not signed their agreement yet. They have an issue with item 7 where we're asking for 3 working days notification, and was wondering if that could be reduced so that they didn't have to give quite that much notice. If they could do something a little bit less, that would be better for them, just because of the trying to get things scheduled and not really being able to plan quite that far
I
out.
don't remember why it was 3 days. Did it work for you?
Well, I don't have a problem with it not being 3 days, but don't come the day before and say, hey, I'm gonna go down and shoot, and Jerry's got something going on. That's why we gave them the courtesy of 3 days, so we wouldn't shut them down. But, don't tell them to wait until the last minute and call in here and say, hey, I want the thing tomorrow, and we're down there working. That's
right.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
And if I got something going on down there, I've got the right to refuse it anyhow.
Sure. We could.
That's the only thing they kind of forgot at one time or another.
Yeah.
I mean,
But is there a way we could get it down to like 24 hours and then?
I don't know why that would be a problem.
As long as they give you you need at least a day's
Well,
notice.
and they've got to understand that after all, it is our wastewater plant, and there is times we're gonna have to be back there, whether, they're just gonna have to shut it down, too bad, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Right.
But no, they wanna give us less notice, that's fine. I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's
I mean,
there for
it's
you
just-
because you're the one.
I mean, the more the better, but there's times that, you're gonna have something that's just gonna pop up, we gotta work on something.
Right,
If you have a problem,
And I'm sure they understand that.
that's,
I talked to West Lafayette and Purdue Police about it, and they shut down the Purdue range. and now they're going to Linden, but I know they give them more than a day notice when they go down to qualify, because it's something they have to qualify on a regular basis.
Right.
Well, I think if it's the qualifying, that's something they do plan ahead. And Jerry, there is an email on your desk about them coming a couple of days, so they have
Yeah.
given us some notice. I think this is more when an individual officer or just a couple want to come and do some practice or whatever it is they do.
See, and that's where we run into
I
the
don't think
problem.
they're allowed
is
to do
when
that.
They're supposed to do that, they're supposed
I
to be
was,
trained.
I
if
was
they're gonna
told
be-
there's supposed to be a training officer with them when we first done this.
If they
An
think they
officer
can
is
just,
a trained officer.
my problem was
A
they,
training officer.
they thought they could just pop in and
Jason was a
shoot
training
whenever they wanted
officer,
to.
and you can't just
That's right.
go down there as a deputy and just start blasting. You're supposed to have a training officer with you.
Gotcha. Right, I see what you're saying. You're saying a normal county sheriff's deputy can't just go down there on his day off and start shooting.
Unless he's a trained,
Unless he's a trained officer.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I'm looking in here, but I was thinking it was that they were on duty when we, let's see, it's right here, number.
I do remember hearing about training officers though.
It is understood that the law enforcement officers using the range are on duty at the time of use of the range.
Because we did have a trouble with somebody in town that wanted to go down there and let you.
So-
Well,
They have
that's
to be
for
on-
insurance purposes, because if they aren't on
Yeah.
duty, their insurance might not.
Mhm. So they do need to be on duty if they use it.
At no less than being on duty, right?
I wanna work with them, so I'll make a motion at 24 hours.
Okay.
Second, as long as, you know, they understand that.
Jerry has the right to shut it down,
it's
right.
Courtesy.
Jerry's got the right to shut him down. If he's gotta work, he's gotta work.
Do you want that language put in there about that they do need to understand, or do you think
Well,
that can
I-
just be?
I would hope they
Verbal
would, I'd hope they would verbally understand that the man's gotta work. It's our wastewater treatment plant. I mean, surely they could understand that.
Well, I think,
Safety's a top priority, so
Sure.
if he's down there, we have people down there working, they've got to be able to.
Sure.
and this is a question for you. Since this has a 3 days notice,
Okay.
and they're willing to drop it to 24 hours notice, can we just strike that?
You could pencil it in and have everybody initial it, and
Okay.
that'll take care of it. Or if you want me to, I probably got it on the computer, if you want me to redo it, but you can just have it, you can do the initialing. Have
Okay.
Everybody initial it.
Okay, then let me go ahead and I'm gonna pencil that with 24 hours, then I'll get you guys to initial if that's what you
Okay.
That's fine.
wrote to do.
I don't see it being a problem if Jerry says he's gotta go down there. I don't see anybody in the county saying
Let's need
no.
a motion.
I'll make a motion that we change the 3-day notice to 24-hour notice.
Second.
Okay. And I'll let Burlington and the county know. Okay. This is our year to renew our trash contract. You have a packet that has everything in it that we did the last time we did a trash contract. If you would review that and get back with me, we need to start thinking about this because June's gonna be here before we know it. And this expires June 30th. So we do need to be working on that one.
People who bid on it?
Yeah, it'll be advertised,
Yeah.
and they will have to come in and give us bid packets.
How many bids did we get? 2 bids last year at Clinton County and then that,
We can have 2 or 3, it's not uncommon.
I can't remember, I thought there was Waste Management and then Clinton County.
Yes, and there was somebody, and I don't,
Uh,
they were.
Advance.
Yeah,
Vance,
yeah,
okay, that's what,
yeah.
I knew there was, I couldn't remember the other one, Vance.
yeah,
So Pat, is there any language in here you're concerned with?
no, it's all pretty standard.
All right.
Okay. We did have last year an addendum, because we thought about doing a fall cleanup in addition to a spring cleanup, but it was gonna be just too costly. So I don't know if you guys wanna talk about it this year, but when it was last discussed, it was not.
Was there issues, any complaints last year on the cleanup?
No.
That items they wouldn't take, or?
What they don't take is what they cannot take. They
Okay.
take anything else.
All right.
But there's things that's banned from
We
the
didn't hear
landfill.
any complaints from, and then we had a couple of folks that left stuff out after the cleanup.
Yes, things they can't take,
I know, but
yeah.
Now,
Set by the curb for a
they
while.
won't take TVs, but in the past, at different times, we have went around on our own and picked up TVs and took them to the transfer station. So if you guys want us to do that, we can still go ahead and do that. I mean, that's not a problem.
Oh, on your way to Delphi, just drop them off.
Yeah, they took them in the past and
They still do.
so-
They don't charge for TVs.
That's a good service for the
I
town.
do appreciate you doing that.
It's better than dumping them somewhere.
Much better than sitting along
Seeing
the
them
road
for road, yeah.
months.
Okay. Next thing I have, we have agreement with Ken Smith for his services for the stormwater project. And we just need that approved,
I'll make a
and it's all
motion,
standard engineer contract language.
I'll make a motion that we accept municipal civil corp as our agreement for service on the stormwater grant.
Second.
His fee is $70,000, the grant writer is 30, that brings you in at 100, and that's your local match. I just need Brent's signature. I have not heard anything from Steve Pearson on the lawn mowing. Have you guys heard anything else from him?
I haven't.
I told him that he needed to file the
Workman's comp?
workman's comp,
Okay,
what's the word I'm looking for? The waiver,
Okay,
like
Okay,
lawnmowers do,
okay.
and I haven't heard back from him, but he is aware that he needs to do it. If you got any questions, come see Pat, she's got an example of it.
He stopped me after the last meeting and, was talking about the workman's comp.
okay, so we'll just
Pretty
continue
much
to table until we hear
We'll
from him?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's, grass isn't growing yet, it snowed yesterday.
We still got time.
Patty, do you want me to do it and take that out before it's signed or how?
No, he has to have workman's comp, or a liability, or he has to have a waiver.
Okay,
That's just-
all right. Okay.
Just the way it is, yeah. Okay, broadband, I have not heard anything from those folks. Have you guys,
Oh, nothing.
do you want to table that again?
I'll table it again. I mean, it's, I don't know if Laura went with it or not.
They hadn't as of last month. I ran into Josh Sheridan, they hadn't done anything. They tabled theirs too, they're waiting just like us to see what they do for. And I think they've done the base out on Grissom, and I know some people live up there, but I haven't thought to ask them about that. I should do that.
Okay. The legal ad for the stormwater project bids was in the paper. It was the second advertisement in today's paper. So, they will be getting the information from Kim that they need. And he spoke earlier about the pre-bid meeting, and people will be contacting either him or us for bid packets. Let's see, we did get the money on the community crossing grant, that's money in the bank. And I gave you guys your spreadsheet on where I thought we could go ahead and get the local match from, so you have that to review if you have any questions. The next thing I have is this reach alert. Flora had a little article in paper, last week's comment, about them looking at this reach alert. This is a company that we could sign up for. We could send alerts out to citizens. They can't put anything on it, they just get alerts. So if we want to let them know that trash is going to be late, it's a holiday, there won't be trash pickup, if something's going on with the streets, like when we know they're going to be paving, please have your cars moved.
Boil order, anything like that.
Well, Jerry was saying boil water orders, he wasn't sure that would work because of legal notification, so that would
Really?
have to be checked.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that.
We can send it out townwide, we can send it out to a specific street, we can send it out to individuals. So like people that's getting their water shut off, if you wanted to give them a third notice, you could use that as a means to do so. You do get a report back of who the alert went out to. So you do have proof that you did try to reach people, if there's any questions on that. The first year is $1 per household here in Camden. So it'd be less than $300 for the first year. The second year, it would go up to $2 a household You have a yearly contract, but the price that they give you is good for 3 years. You can have, like, I could put alerts out, council members could have access, Jerry, the marshal, if you wanted to give it to the fire department, they could even put out alerts with your authorization.
There was a limit on how many alerts, so
The alerts, you mean the number or the number per household?
I thought it was the number of alerts that you were actually allowed to send out. Wasn't there a maximum number you could send out?
I don't remember, I don't remember that. How many do you think?
I don't know, per year, was it
Yeah,
per year?
I
so
don't
many alerts?
know. I'd have to check
Do
on
we
that.
know any towns that are currently using it, or
Flora will be using
Will
it,
be.
they're on it now. She did her training.
how they receive the alerts?
It can be a text, a email, or they can do it voicemail. Each home can sign up with 4 phone numbers and 4 email addresses.
So we could use it for, say if there was a tornado warning also, something like that?
Yes. That would be something the fire department could send out, because they'd have quicker access to that, you would.
All right.
The company is based in Louisville, but they do business in many different states. Do you want me to see if let me come talk to you guys about it, or do you want to just think about it?
I'm gonna look it up online, just to see if there's
Okay.
more information. I mean, these guys, if they want, it's up to them. We use it, at Purdue, of course, we use the emergency alert system, and we get it on our computers. It comes up big flashing alert, and then you also, everybody's phone goes off at the same time. But it's nice, I mean, you just never know.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an emergency, it's just a message you want to get out to
Right.
people.
I understand.
And you don't, and the way I understand it is your household don't have to sign up, so if there's only 100 to sign up, it's only $100.
Well, you're still gonna pay. It's
Oh,
per house, yeah,
you gotta pay for everybody?
yeah. It's up to the individual though to get out there and get signed up for it. Well, that was my understanding anyway.
Maybe we need to talk to some of the citizens and see if something they would find value in. I mean, it's only $300 the first year, but I mean, it's,
600.
see how many people would really wanna use it.
You know, and it might be like the credit cards. When you start out, it's slow, but then people get onto it, it's like, oh, this is pretty sweet. So,
I get
and we could wait and see how
Nixle
full
for
it
the
gets.
county
now.
alerts.
So I said
But
today.
see, Nexo, you can't input.
Right.
No,
But see, this is something you have control over. And is when Nexo isn't just specifically Camden, this would be Camden business.
yeah. No, it's the same concept though. I mean,
Okay, so table,
I'm good with tabling it, and these guys are.
Yeah. Table.
okay. Spring cleanup, April 21st. We have information that we put out last year about nuisance ordinance and the procedure that we go through. If anybody has any questions, we do post this so they understand what we do and what is a nuisance, so they have a clear understanding. So this we just post, but I want you guys to see it, so you'll be aware that we're posting that. You also know that I'm updating the Camden Disaster Manual. You have that information I'd like for you guys to look over, because I rewrote the introduction to that pretty extensively. And you also have a copy of the storm procedure with the sirens that I'd like for you to look over and see what you think too. That's
With the
all
siren.
I think that's in this one.
Oh, that's for this, okay. That's the take on.
That's what the brochure is.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, that's all I have.
How are we on our siren? Does that have to be maintained? Is that, I've never asked that question.
We have not had any maintenance. I think the county watches over. If it doesn't work, then I suppose we get the bill, but,
Well, that's nice.
yeah.
Kinda hate for that to not work.
I know, we need that working.
Kind of important. I just wondered if they ever.
Well, they tested for Saturday.
Yeah, I know, I just wondered how, that's when they're,
Well, the town actually owns the site.
that was, we do
We
own it?
own the site. We
Okay.
bought the site. We had the pole put up.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, it's been up
I
for,
didn't even know we owned it.
yeah.
Okay.
guys have questions?
We'll do that. Old, old business, the less hunt drains. Sit back. Alright, adjustment request, he's not here.
He got some.
You got taken care of, Bobby, alright. Disputed ordinance violations, nobody. Public comments, anybody, anything they wanna say they didn't, Bill?
Yeah, on these ordinances you got on that piece of paper,
I got lots of papers.
when are you gonna update them?
Which, what are you
The
talking about?
violation, the nuisance.
What, you have to be a little more specific, what are you talking about?
Like the old cars sitting around town. When's anybody gonna get any nads to take care of this problem? It's getting terrible.
I agree. I don't, that's good. I don't know, Mark, what do you think?
I'm still driving it.
I know, it's gonna be something done with it.
I agree, I mean, we have properties that have become an issue, I don't know, I mean,
We need to have the marshal go out, take pictures. He sends the pictures to Ann, she sends out the letters, and then they have a certain amount of days after that to take care of it, or they're supposed to get a ticket.
See, right there is a problem.
I just,
So many days.
Then they move them 2 cars and then 2 more up here.
Yeah.
that's why I don't even know where the paper just went, I just showed him, it talks about the fine in the ordinance paper.
Well, we have it in place,
I
it just
know.
has to be
That's the
implemented.
same thing we go through every time with this, when are we gonna get some teeth with our tickets, I mean,
But if you're waiting, you're giving them too much time to take care of the problem.
well, you have to give them so much time, you're required to give them so much time, you can't just,
And they're also
Yeah.
entitled to come before the town board,
Yes.
you know.
yeah, they have to have at least a month, cause they can come in front of the council,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, there's a fee right
There
there
are several
for it,
steps there that have to be followed.
it's not a quick process.
That's like the junkyard across, right over here on the corner.
Uh,
That's been a year and a half ago, I complained about it,
oh,
and nobody's done anything about it.
well, see, but the thing is, they do certain things to make it a little better, and they get it to where it's not so bad, and so then it all goes away, and then it starts all over again.
Yeah.
When it goes bad, then they gotta file another complaint, it starts all over again. You can't just pick up from the same ordinance violation they had before, cause they fixed that, and now it's something different.
The clock
Raise
resets.
the fine up.
You know, Bill, there used to be a time when somebody had junk cars sitting around, they could go, hook a chain to it, pull it away, and nothing done, it was okay, but you can't do that anymore, you know? It's just, that car becomes very, very valuable if you decide you're gonna tow it off to the junkyard. So, there's things in place to protect the citizen, but there's also things here that the town needs to be doing to clean these places up. I agree with you, we've got some places that are looking pretty sad.
A lot of the cars are sitting on city property.
Sitting on sidewalks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And everybody just, oh, well, car there.
Do you want me to put a note on, or send John an email to get some pictures and we'll get going?
I mean, we might as well, I mean, it's a new year, we might as well start the new process, Ann's running out of stuff to do, aren't you?
Well,
I'm
yeah, I
trying
mean,
to keep you busy, but.
She needs something to do.
I'm used to writing the letters, that's, somebody tells me, I'm just an employee, I do whatever the town council tells me
And
to
John,
do.
if somebody
But
calls
what we
in,
do to protect ourselves, we have the pictures, so that somebody can say, well, that wasn't, you're picking on me.
Yeah.
But we have the pictures, so that we know what the problem is, and then we write them, and then I always tell them that we have the pictures too. So,
In the letter, right.
and hope they'll clean up, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
One time I had a vehicle, it was legal, had insurance on it, and Don Leish sent me a summons, and I had to go in front of the town board. Why?
I agree, and I haven't,
right, and if somebody has a property that, they think is just pretty outrageous, if they were to call in and say, I think somebody needs to look at that, I don't tell who called in.
Yeah,
Because this is, I'm not out to cause trouble between neighbors. That's not what we want to do. But if there's an issue, It's just anonymous.
You gotta give it to Wagner and
So-
materials.
Somebody needs to get on
Okay. Well, I'll send the marshal an email and ask him to start getting some pictures so we can get the process going. I think we all pretty well know which properties.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Well, we have enough film.
Well, they're sent digitally, we can take care of it. There's all that airspace out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, marshal, get pictures, we're ready to
Get some
move?
pictures started. And
Okay,
I really don't like seeing cars on the sidewalk either. It infuriates the ever-loving Jesus out of me. You wanna know my
well,
personal
and if we're
opinion, but
thinking about putting in sidewalks
that's
in
the whole
certain
reason I didn't wanna
areas.
put sidewalks in that spot, because they're just gonna use it as a lift to lift their car up.
Not if you give them a ticket.
Just, we went through this last year. Where's the teeth to our tickets? I mean, how many times, you know?
Somebody has to
I
write
know.
the ticket.
I've been a van set for 10 years.
Yeah. And he's a reserve deputy.
over there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, let's get started.
Are we
Tis
all
the
on
season.
board? On board?
It's there
On
for a
board,
reason.
Andy?
It's
Yeah,
there
yeah.
for a reason.
and there's one corner, when they get the cars moved, there should be a sign put up there, no parking. 12 by 15 sign.
That's just like the problem we
More
had
map?
down there on water
Or over here,
and Cumberland.
by the school.
You know, we've had water in Cumberland, we went over there and asked him nice, and, oh yeah, no
That's
problem,
what-
you
that's
don't
what
need a
Bill's
sign,
talking
you don't
about.
need a sign. That car left, another one pulls up.
Right up, the next week.
That's what you get.
But I think he ran into something in that situation. The marshal said he can't specifically say no parking here because there's no different there than anywhere else.
There's an ordinance on that. You gotta park at the flow of the traffic.
Well, you gotta be parked in the same direction, yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
Have you been out to the town's website reading ordinances?
No, I've been,
Okay.
the sheriff's been down the house several times.
It ain't on YouTube.
Okay.
Is that all you got?
For now. I'll
Till
kill
the
the
chicken, till the neighbor.
Till the chickens come.
Yeah.
Been there.
But if the chickens come, then we'll just call Doug and go, hey, come earn your $5.
Yeah. Giddy up.
4.
No,
Not done yet.
The Wilbur Jones Memorial Tractor Pull is getting a lot of attention from pullers from all over the state, and we've even had several from out of state call. So if the weather holds up, it's gonna be a pretty good event. I also worked with Lori Brower on the tractor pull strip in Florida, and got lights from Purdue. So they're gonna be picking those up. They sent the Florida utilities down there to look at and make sure they could work and stuff. So they're gonna be putting lights on the floor tractor pull strip too, or
What is the date for that tractor pull?
July 21st,
July 21st. Do you know what time it's gonna start?
early in the morning. I don't know exactly right now, but
Okay, that's okay.
there'll be 3 different classes: cut tire, uncut tire, and then the
Flat tire.
what's that one called?
Percentage pull.
Pull is the local farmers.
That'll be first, people.
No, they're mixing it together.
Oh, I thought they said those were gonna be first, and then the mix, the cut, uncut is gonna be mixed the weight class.
But anyway, there'll be a lot of local farmers too. So
Will that be in the same place?
Camden.
Be down here,
Where
Camden.
they gonna get the clay at? Ford took all the clay.
Well, they didn't take it all, they took half of it.
Hey, on the concrete barriers, are you guys gonna have to do anything, or there ain't the tractor safe?
No, they're not hot. They're not hot tractors.
No hot tractors.
And will there be someone to check RPMs?
You want,
There's
hey,
a speed control.
I mean, there's no RPMs or nothing like that, but I seen a gal one time with an old Oliver in the old weight, the low weight class, that tried,
Pulled up.
pull her up, get up, and turn the wheel, Then when she set her down, the wheels cocked like that, and they unhooked her, and she gave her the old, I'll show you how to throttle you, and she about went into the stand, so. You might wanna get a few barriers, just a suggestion.
Yep.
Will there be a horse pull this year, or are we done with horse pulls?
The Lions Club voted not to do a horse pull.
Okay.
The Lions Club lost money last year on the horses. The Lions Club is going to have the garden tractor pull. And then the garden tractors will also be, they're gonna have a garden tractor pull here, and I don't know the date on that. And they'll also have the garden tractors with the Lions Club pull at Flora. And I don't know the date on that either.
I don't know the date of that poll either.
Will that be,
It might be in your book.
Oh, hey, you know what?
No, I don't think so.
What? Really?
will that be modified pole, garden tractors?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do, I mean, I'm on the Lions Club, but I'm not on that committee. It's, they put it on themselves, the garden tractor puller.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's modified and unmodified. We're gonna put on the board, on the board for the trash pickup thing, or the
Spring cleanup.
spring cleanup. We'll have that up there.
Still a bit early.
I know, but I mean, we'll have it up there. Good.
It's on the town's website.
Have you had any more trouble with the dumpsters inside of the building?
I haven't.
Good. That's all I got, I guess.
Motion adjourned.
A second.
Okay, Steve, keep up the good work, get your whole thing.
Mr. Wagner, here.
Mr. White,
I'm looking for these now. What are you doing with these now?
leaving them, putting them up here against the chair, just leave them,
Or
do whatever.
I'm not sure just what.
Well, thank you.